That whole day, just creepy.
Uncertainty always comes with war, but for the boys from Illinois, September 21st, 2004 just seemed different.
Everybody kind of wondering, when's our turn? When are we going to get hit?
Dusty Hill, a gunner in Galva's 202nd, remembers nothing, only what he's been told.
According to my roommate, I did. He said before I left that morning to go out on patrol that I said it wasn't going to be a good day.
Performing security on Baghdad's notoriously deadly Airport Road, Foxtrot Battery began the day like any other. Its first red flag, a parked car.
And that's usually a bad sign.
We need to stop and check it out, make sure it's not a car bomb.
It wasn't. It was a decoy.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, just a deafening explosion.
Everything everywhere is leveled. There's just chunks of car flying by us.
This is video seconds after the attack.
BBID, suicide bomber, snuck in there and detonated in front of one of my Humvees.
It blew me out of the Humvee.
22-year-old Dusty Hill shows the scars of his own personal ground zero.
I got blown out. I was on fire. They couldn't get to me right away.
Snipers fired at his buddies.
We returned fire to the rooftop, wounding the enemy.
Only afterwards did they find out how badly the enemy wounded them.
Got the fire extinguisher, and that's when we ran back and I found out that it was Hill.
So I ran around the other side of the vehicle to grab my medic bag and just took off running.
He was on fire. He was on fire.
Dusty landed in a pool of burning diesel fuel.
He was still talking to us, but he was in a ball of fire.
Just screaming at the top of his lungs, it burns, it burns.
We got him away from the fuel, and next thing you know, the vehicle is cooking off.
Ammunition inside the burning Humvee started exploding. Bullets were flying all around them.
So we moved him as far away from the vehicle as we could.
The worst for me was when he looked at me square in my eyes and told me, "Tell my mom I love her." I assured him that you're gonna make it. You're gonna be able to tell her yourself.
After that, he'd pretty much stopped talking.
His clothes were, igniting, and then we'd pat them down and they'd reignite.
So I put that out with my hands and got some minor burns.
I could see his eye was covered in blood. It had glass and other things, all about it.
Pretty rough situation.
Just trying to keep him alert and keep him assured that he was all right and he's going to be all right. Essentially lying to him.
Despite their fears, Foxtrot never gave up.
An Iraqi ambulance happened to just be there, and we flagged it down. They brought it over. I got a flat tire. Miraculously, I don't know what happened, but another one shows up.
I'm not for sure exactly who did it, but I was told they hijacked the ambulance. They held him at gunpoint.
Up against an uncooperative Iraqi driver, Sergeant Aaron Jones stepped in.
I had to convince him that, he needed to bring his ambulance up to us.
And it worked.
Got him on the stretcher, started yanking him away. You're slipping on chunks of flesh that's laid out all over the place from the bomber. The truck's still just exploding, and rounds are going off and bullets are flying everywhere.
Finally on their way, but heading in the wrong direction, to an Iraqi hospital.
I kept yelling at them to take us to the green zone, the international zone.
We did a lot of screaming and yelling at the guys.
They fully understood when I got done speaking with them that we were going to an American hospital.
The Iraqi driver takes a wrong turn, lost in his own neighborhood.
I'm yelling at them, I'm yelling at traffic. Traffic's not getting out of the way.
Precious time slips away.
I didn't have time for that, Nobody had time for that, especially Dusty. He didn't have any time. I jumped up into the front and started pointing directions which way they had to go.
One more huge obstacle awaits: security at the American Field Hospital.
They're not just going to let an Iraqi ambulance through.
I'm an American soldier. I'm with 1st Cavalry.
He's, just screaming over the microphone.
Got a wounded soldier in the back, and we need to come through. And I just pray to God that, they understood, and they did.
They made it. Dusty was saved by his Army.
The guys that helped me, and I haven't got to talk to any of them yet, but I don't even know what I would tell them when I do talk to them. Because thank you wouldn't be anywhere near what I could express, to how I feel.
It's the soldier's creed, never leave a fallen comrade. On September 21st, 2004, the boys from Illinois didn't leave Dusty behind. They never will.
He's one of us, and it's never going to change.
I'm happy and grateful that he's alive and doing well. I'm sad for what has happened to him.
How often do you think about him that day?
Every day.
What are you going to tell him?
I just give him a hug.
Same thing I've already told him once, he's my hero. That's all there is to it.
Now, Mom, you be nice.
I'm not pushing hardly at all yet.
No, I'll listen to him before I listen to you.
When one of your kids are hurt like that, you don't think about what you left, what you had to drop.
I still feel bad for my mom. She dropped her entire life to come down here for me. She was going to college, she was going, she was doing a lot of stuff, and she just gave it all, just dropped it.
Taking that off too?
She moved 1,200 miles away, leaving behind her nursing job here at Perry Memorial in Princeton, Illinois, and her 13-year-old son, Brody. Her second oldest son needed her more.
If I knew he was down here in the condition he was in and I had to stay home, you would just go nuts.
Liz Kelm doesn't stand on the sidelines. She's part of the team at the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas.
Is that muscle? It's not edema, isn't it?
Day after day, it's the same.
I mean, he's got good blood flow over there, but it's not as good as this side.
A labor of love as she tends to her son's fragile skin. She's here as he heals both body and soul.
Amazing how much motion you got.
This is 8 months into therapy. The mother and son team have come a long way.
And what they want to do is regain this kind of motion. We're getting to the point where he can put his t-shirt on by himself, he can put his shoes on.
As a mom, you had to teach him everything that you did as a toddler just all over again.
Now I get to do it again. Round 2.
Seeing that my hands are gone and I'm burned and all this, it wasn't nothing easy to deal with, and if she wasn't there, I probably would have, there'd been no doubt, I'd have went into some sort of depression and probably just gave up.
You can't quit. If you quit, you're done.
As they say, Mom knows best, and she knows that's not going to be good for me, so she's not going to allow it.
And I told him, I said, you know what? I said, you can lay in this bed for the rest of your life. I said, but I'm not going to take care of you, and these people aren't going to take care of you. I said, the only way you're going to get better is by you doing what you need to do. And I said, you have got to get up, no matter about how bad it hurts.
Despite the struggle, he never complains. He works hard. He gives 100%. But then again, he has to.
She's on top of everything. I don't get away with nothing.
I mean, it's easy for me to be on this side of it going, come on, let's go. You need to go get this done and get that done. But if I was in the position he's in, I'd probably feel the same way. I just don't want to do it today. Just give me a break.
While lunchtime at Brooke means a break from the work for most, it continues for Dusty. He's the only double-hand amputee here at Brooke. Just eating takes practice, patience, and every bit of his concentration.
It's very, tiring on the arm because, obviously I lost a lot of muscle.
Sometimes it's just too much.
To relearn all that stuff is tough.
A couple months ago I couldn't pick up a chip and, I'd crush it if I tried, and now I can pick them up and I can pretty much pick up just about anything I want to now without worrying about breaking it.
It's really great when he can do something. He'll be going, hey, look at this, I can do this.
But you wonder if he could do this without his mother. Liz Kelm is doing what no doctor or nurse could.
You could get to that little thing like that?
Oh, no, just flip up.
Yeah.
Healing her son with determination and humor.
It's just a Rolex, Dusty.
Yeah, right.
It's the type of healing that only comes from a mother.
If I got to pick out anybody in the world, I'd pick her, just because I know she'd stand there by my side no matter what.